It's funny for experienced machine eaters, and new starters like me share the pain. I'm new to machine eating, so follow me on my journey. I'm trying to do some test socks because most of the things you need for socks I haven't done yet. I adjusted the needle bed distance here to 5. I adjusted my front bed to be directly across the back bed. I want to do a simple fisherman rib, so I activated every other needle. And I activated 20 needles on each side, so a total of 40 needles. It should fit one of my 3 grandchildren. So let's start the rib. I changed to round knitting with a stitch size of 3, so let's give it a round. This is a fine yarn, weight 2, so I'm knitting now with stitch size 4. I added another weight and give it a few more rounds. I think I needed 7 rows, but in order to avoid guessing for next time, I'm changing the counter to 0. Now it's time to hang the stitches from the front to the back. No, I'm not gonna try the transfer tool again. I'm just using old-fashioned manual method because it works every time. Zap. And zap. Last stitch, and everything is moved to the back. Let me knit one more row. Okay, next thing, I try to move the back half of the stitches over to the front bed so I can do round knitting. Lucky me, I just did as many stitches as I have on that needles on that tool. If I would have more stitches, I would probably need to flip the one side over and then the other side over. But so far so good. Before I do so, however, I need to rearrange some weights. I'm gonna remove the comb at the end, so let me see where I'm gonna end up. I'm gonna end up with that stitch. So I'm hanging the weight into here. Oh, come on. I'm hanging another weight over there. Now with the 2 weights, I'm gonna take out that comb. You can tell I have 2 left hands here. Then I'm taking that baby here. Make sure all latches are open. Try again. Now we are talking. I'm carefully pulling it out to get all the stitches behind the latches. This is the first time I'm doing this. Now I'm pushing everything in. Carefully. Oh, go, move. I guess I should have done a wider stitch. I'm not getting them over the edge, so let me try to help the stitches a bit. 1 is over, 2, 3, 4, 18, 19, 20. Now it's moving. Sorry for that. Now I have that here, and I apply that thing to lock it in, so I don't lose him. I think the next thing is to let it fall. Oops. And to bring it onto the other side. And maybe it wouldn't be bad if I would activate the needles now. So the needles are activated. Let me take my magic credit card to open the latches. Zip. Cool. Open that thing here. And then I think I need to push the bed up a little bit. And then get it. Oops. I hope I'm not losing anything soon here. Shouldn't that supposed to slide in? Oh, shoot. Erde. So I hope I got it repaired right. So instead of flipping it on there, let me try if I can push it on there. Like I did before, by manually helping those stitches to come over. Again, this is the first time I'm doing it, so it may work just much easier once I'm more experienced. So now all the stitches seem to be over on the other side, and I can take that off. On the racking lever, I see I'm meanwhile a stitch too wide to the right, so let me move to the left. And theoretically, I should be able to do some round knitting now. Let me push the needle into maybe first push the needle bit up. And as I push the needle bit up, I need to push the needles down so they don't collide. Whew. I think I'm ready for round knitting now. So round knitting front and round knitting back. And let's give it a try. That doesn't look too great. Let me fix it. I think it's best if I first undo that row before doing anything stupid. Oh, I still have needles activated back there. That's stupid too. So those needles are gone now. And this one didn't knit. This one didn't knit. Those didn't knit. It's me why? So I'm back to the beginning. So I'm moving the carriages to the left because that's where my yarn is. Plug it back in. Oh, I need to thread the yarn again. So, and push this out of the way. Put the yarn back in over there. A little halberd maybe. So the yarn is back in. I need to increase the tension a bit and reconnect the lower bed. And let me try side. Let me try it again. Some are needed, most are needed, some are not needed. Beats me why, maybe it's a matter of weight, but I'll fix these things manually off camera. So in the middle a few needles didn't knit, maybe the weight is not right. I improved the weight a little bit on the front side now. And let me try to knit the front side now, back. That worked great. Now see if the back side behaves better this time. Nope. It's missing weight on the back side because the weight I have on the front side is bigger. Let me fix that. So I added more weight to the back and I increased the stitch size to 5. Let's give it another try. And good on the back, on the front. Not so good on the back. So I manually knitted those stitches again. Changed something on the weight on the back side. And try another round. So front. That looks perfect. Back. Ooh, now we are talking. Because it finally starts to work. One more round. Front. Back. Cool. So a better balanced weight did actually do the trick. One more time. Front. Back. Perfect. So I have a total of 12 rows after the rib. My carriage is on the right side. And I'm now starting the heel. And I think I'm knitting the heel on the front bed because it's easier to access the yarn to hang and change weights. To do so, I'm changing the back carriage to not knit anything. And I'm changing the front carriage to regular knitting, which means it should now knit every direction. And from what I've seen on YouTube is we would deactivate the first needle on the front bed side. But maybe I should first knit the front bed and then start to reduce. So regular knitting still works, whether I do round knitting or regular knitting this way, shouldn't matter. So now I'm with the carriage on the left side. I'm deactivating one needle, move to the right, deactivate one needle, move to the left, deactivate one needle, move to the right, deactivate one needle, and I can tell that these stitches here are starting to become looser, so I need to adjust the weight. So I push the weights a little bit more in. They seem to pull better now. Let me push it back. Zip. Deactivate one needle. That was a little hard, probably because of the weight. And push it back. Zip. But let me try one more round. Up. Nope. It starts to hang up. So I carefully lift the front side and move it back. And I will have to untangle that. And then lift the back side and move it back. and undo what I did here. Didn't really need anything. So flatten it back in. Re-straighten the tension. And I guess it's time to redo the weights. So let's try that again. And that worked. Activate one more. And here looks not bad. Pull a bit on the weights and push it back. That worked. But it started to become loose again, so I need to readjust the weights again. By the way, this is how my weights hang in there. So let's keep trying. And I'm gonna go right. Yep. Deactivated. So I've deactivated 7 needles on the side and I still have 6 needles active. So I think it's now time to reactivate the needles. And it's my understanding that we reactivate the needles away from the carriage. So I would be reactivating that needle. I hope that's enough reactivation. Let's give it a try. Looks good. Let me reactivate the other one. Looks also good, but the stitches are relatively loose. I guess I'm not having enough weight. So let me pause and double check the weights. So the weights are in. Close it again. Activate one needle. And push. Looks a bit better. And activate the last one on that side. So now all needles are activated again. The one YouTube video said to wrap that yarn around the last needle on the back bed to avoid holes. And now it's time to knit round again. So I think I knitted about 40 circles, so added 20 rows. Without major pitfalls, I had to rehang the weight pretty often, but I'm pretty happy so far. Now we are reducing for the toes, and I'm simply applying what I saw in a different video. That video suggested to take 2 stitches. Yep, take them and transfer them now come open the ledge and transfer them one to the left, and we do the same here. Take 2 stitches, push them back in. Now I have the stitches. Ooh. Come on, don't be so difficult. And transfer them one to the left. One didn't move over yet. Okay, now I did. And we do the same on that side. Latch is open. You can tell I have two left hands here. Take 2 stitches out. Up. Push them on the needle. Transfer them one to the left. And put them on. That made easy. So far I reduced 4 needles on either side, front and back. I'm a little impatient, so I have 8 needles in the middle. I'm now casting it off. I'm not sure yet whether I should knit the stitches together front to back, or whether I can cast off both rows individually. I don't know yet. So let me try that. Doing it this both sides individually. So it says transfer the stitch on its neighboring needle, push it out, and I like that method where I wrap it around here because then it's not too tight, and pull it through, and then I would do the same here. I transfer, this is in my way a bit. I transfer the stitch to its neighboring needle. I push it back and I pull it through. This time I forgot to wrap it, but it doesn't need to be elastic anyway. But I'm getting too confused this way. So let me forget about the wrapping, which means if I go back to this side, I'm transfer the stitch to the neighboring needle, push it there, take the yarn and pull it through, and then I do the other side. I transfer the stitch to the neighboring needle, I push it behind the latch, wrap this around and pull it through. Nearly done by now, only 2 stitches left front and back. Let me reduce a little bit the weight, and I keep going. I transfer the stitch to its neighbor, push it out, wrap it around, and I transfer that stitch to its neighbor, push it out, wrap it around, and I'm not sure what to do now. Let me Google. So this stitch has to go over there and wrap it around. Oops, there's a little something missing. So these are my first socks I made on the double bed, single double bed machine. My cast off was a little weird. I was afraid to lose a stitch. There's a little bit holes on the heel. Same on that side. See that hole? I'm not sure I did a fisherman rib. Looks more like a 1-1 rib. It was meant to be a fisherman. Try that on the second sock. The toe area went decently well, I think. I'm not sure if I lost a stitch here, but overall I'm pretty happy. And I think I'll try that again. The progressive shaping didn't turn out too bad. I reduced one stitch every other row, and then I reduced one stitch every row. Okie doke. Whether funny or painful is not really the question. I was able to do some socks with my two left hands. That's the key point.